Peace. I hope everyone is doing well. So, in this video, we will be discussing energy, vibration, frequency, or 369. What exactly is 369, right? In this video, you can expect a deeper understanding of energy, vibration, frequency. I will, discuss what Nicola Tesla meant when he said, understand these number sequences and you will understand the key to the universe. And ultimately what this has to do with us, what energy, vibration, frequency, or what 369 really have to do with us. Okay, first and foremost, I want to start off by saying that everything is energy, everything is three. The number three can be found within everything, in the sense of the number three, to a degree, represents source. It represents creation. It represents the fourth bringing, the sprouting of something. In tarot, for example, the number three represents the Empress, and the Empress, she's known to be the creator. She's known to be all about fertility, all about creation, creating something new. In astrology, Gemini is the third sign. Geminis, we are very creative, first and foremost. We deal with ideas, the mind, the mental, and when you think about creation at this realm, it always begins with the mind. It always starts first with the mind, with the thought. And so too is pardon me. And so too is the number three. So you gotta keep in mind that dimensions repeat themselves. Every third dimension there's a repeat. So the first dimension is actually the third dimension. The second dimension is the sixth dimension, and the third dimension is the ninth dimension. In the sense that it's like a micro version. Like the first dimension, for example, it plays out as the source. The first dimension is where the second dimension comes from. The first dimension is like where minerals, where minerals, where iron, where elements, and where things that create this physical realm are. Then the second dimension is like where it's all getting stirred up. This is where magma comes from. This is where we get the ideology of hell, people burning, comes from. This is where flow happens, movement happens, water happens. At a chakra level, the second dimension can also be representative of the sacral chakra. So yes, the second dimension is where creation happens. This is where sex happens. Sex is merely the creation of one energy through two. When two join, they create one energy, and this is what sex is. And all that magma happening and all of that, energy taking place, it creates the sense of energy, right? The sense of energy, and that's, well, since creation, I'll just say that, like, when magma may combine with iron or whatever, they combines and it creates something new. Okay, now, yes, that's all the number three is. Number three is nothing more or less but just vibration. The number three is energy and its source. This is where everything comes from. This is why 3 can make 6 and 9, but 6 cannot make 3 and 9 cannot make 3, even though they have 3 within them. And if you add 3, 6, or 9, these are number sequences. You can add, multiply, you can add them to one another, you can multiply them with themselves, yada yada yada, and you will get this repetition of this sequence, of this 3, 6, 9 sequence, constantly repeating itself, right? Okay, so 3 is energy, right? And everything is within energy. Energy moving, energy in motion is called emotions. And at our level, our emotions, they represent vibration. The emotion you're in right now is the vibration you're on right now. If you're chaotic, if you're angry, then you are in a hectic, very, very low, dense vibration, you know. Fear, for example, when you feel fear, it's very, very, very dense, you know, and you really feel it within you. This is because it's vibrational, you know, it's vibrational. Um, I mean, it's dense, you know, it's vibration. Fear is very, very dense. And so on and so forth. So, 3 is energy, 6 is vibration. And 3 can be perceived as the ideas we receive, our thoughts, because our emotions come from our thoughts. Your predominant thoughts will create your emotion. Your emotions will create your reality, you know? So this is 3 and 6, you know, 3 and 6. 3 would be our thoughts. Thought can also be portrayed externally from us as, or the number 3 or the number energy can be portrayed externally of us as, you know, books, for example, or my verb, even my words, you know, because this is a form of information. The oxygen you breathe, the food you eat, the light you receive, sun gazing, on all of these things, they are, in a sense, can be portrayed as a way of receiving energy, you know, receiving energy. And this is what energy is all about, or the number 3 is all about. And this is where everything begins, you know. This is where everything begins. For example, when you plant a seed, the information or the DNA within the seed, this is connected to that energy number of 3, you know. And then when that seed germinates, aka starts vibrating, then it starts it starts tapping into that information, and it starts doing what it wills with it, you know. And then the number 9 is frequency, which is like an energy signature. And this tree right here would be a frequency, you know. This is what the seed and the information within it was energy. The fertilization of the seed and the growth of the seed would be vibration. And then the energy sequence, or energy signature of the seed, of what it became, would be the frequency, you know, the frequency. So in a sense, these things simultaneously are happening already, because a seed is a tree, and yada yada yada. And you know, it's like, the thing about time is it's vertical, you know, it's not linear. So everything already happened. So this seed has already grown, it has already died, it has already done all of those things. So all of those potentialities are within that seed. But when it's a seed, it's symbolic to the number 3. And you see that it takes me back to it's symbolic to the number 3, and that takes me back to how 3 can be can make 6 and 9, but 6 and 9 can make the 3, you know. Like, because it's like, it makes sense for you to say that the seed is the tree, but then it's like, I guess it can make sense for you to say that the tree is the seed. I guess it can, but then it's like, it fits more when it's like 3, 6, and then 9, which is the seed, the germination, so on and so forth, you know. So yes, this is what 369 ultimately is. It's energy, vibration, and frequency. 369. And this is what Nicola Tesla was speaking of when he was saying, understand this energy sequence numbers. The energy sequence, or 369, and you'll understand the key to the universe. This is because when you understand vibration, energy, and frequency, then you understand how to technically get whatever you want. You understand that you have to follow this sequence, you know. Before you can attain something, you have to tap into that energy. For example, in tarot, the magician is a great example of the number 3, you know, the number 3. And in this case, he's like the first dimension, you know, the first dimension. We got to keep in mind that the first dimension holds the energy of 3, and I'll explain how and why. I mean, I already did technically, right? Because the first dimension is where everything is at. This is where the iron, the elements, and everything are at. Then the second dimension would represent I forget her name, but that the one card that represents two, the duality, and and she's connected to like the two of swords, two of cups, two of wands, etc., etc. This is like, in a sense, the mingling, the mingling of two energies, the yin and yang, the yin and yang, and this is movement, this is motion, and this is what vibration is all about. This is what vibration is all about. So step one, to apply this information, in a way that'll value you, is understand that the first step to anything is receiving energy. Receiving energy. You can literally receive energy from within or from without. You can sit in meditation in the darkness. When you meditate in the darkness, it's very, very powerful, because the darkness you see when you close your eyes, this is dark matter. This is what dark matter is. So the ability for us to create nothing into something is already within us, just through the imagination or the third eye. But yeah, you can tap into your higher self, you can channel, you can do all these things, and you can receive information or energy through that way. And then once you attain that information, whether it be through a book, whether it be through talking to someone, whether it be through this, whether it be through that, then this is where knowledge without application is dead, must be applied. When you don't do anything with what you know, then in a sense you are at a spiritual level obese. Okay, so what I mean by that, I feel like that was weird what I just did there. But what I mean by that is, okay, look. When you are constantly consuming knowledge, that information, that energy is going somewhere. But just as, we need to eat, well, we don't need to eat food, to be honest with you, because there are breatharians out there and things of that nature. But when you eat and you eat and you eat and you eat and you don't do nothing with the food, then you become fat, and you are in a sense fat, but at a spiritual level as well. When you are constantly consuming knowledge, and consuming knowledge, and the thing about when you become fat is you become so fat that you, in a sense, become detached, from your ability to truly hone in and tap into your body. And in a sense, the same thing kind of happens with this spiritual obesity. Once you get to a specific level of knowledge, and you're not doing anything with this information, then it becomes really hard for you to do anything, to act upon the wisdom, the knowledge because you know so much, but you don't have any ways of connecting them, because it's like, when the way you connect knowledge together, or the neurons, for example, the way that neurons work is they fire together and they wire together, right? So the way you apply knowledge at a personal level and make it wisdom is by acting on it. And then when you act on this knowledge, and then there's this one other neuron that in a sense is firing at a certain frequency, then they connect, and now you understand. But when all these neurons about this, about that are in a sense firing all over the place, and in a sense it kind of becomes hectic, it kind of becomes chaotic, and now you are vibrating all over the place and you're not really doing anything, because it's like information, right? You got to keep in mind is information can be connected to energy, and the thing about the feminine energy is she is energy. She is chaotic energy, though. She is chaotic energy. She is the primordial force. She is energy, but chaotically and untamed. But yeah, I guess I'll leave it at that. But yeah, so once you receive the information, what you do with that knowledge is the motion, the action. This is where vibration starts happening. When you start taking things into consideration, you start putting things together, working with then you start creating vibration. And as this vibration starts vibrating, it starts looking a certain way. For example, colors, for example, the way you're seeing me now is certain waves of light are being emitted through your screen maybe, and they're hitting your eyes, and as they hit your eyes, you receive them, and then you receive these vibrational wavelengths, and they portray a certain frequency. This frequency is from the auditory frequency, which is me speaking, to the visual frequency, which is me right here. So energy vibration creates frequency. When you have energy, then you emit it. When you have an energy, and I guess you can say to a degree, energy is closely connected to consciousness. Well, energy is technically okay. So if energy is everything and consciousness is everything, then technically energy is consciousness, right? And this is where your body is a form of consciousness, a form of energy. A form of energy. Everything is a form of energy. Everything is energy. It's only when it starts vibrating at a certain frequency, like my hand, for example, my hands, right? They're vibrating at a certain frequency, so they look like this, so on and so forth. But yes. So energy, information, vibration, action creates frequency. I hope that makes sense, and this is technically it. And this is how this physical manifestation how this physical world manifested. There is these energy, like I said, is information. For example, at a DNA level, your DNA, at a biological level, your DNA would be representative of energy. The expression of proteins, the proteins that are created through your DNA would be an expression. Well, the process of the ribosome, reading the DNA strands, the genome, and creating proteins. This process here would be vibrational. This is the ribosome doing things. This is what vibration is. Vibration is movement. For example, the flower of life. When the flower of life was just still, not doing anything, then it was in a sense just energy. But then when it started moving, it started vibrating. You get it? It started moving and vibrating, and as it did this, at the end, it made this frequency, which is the flower of what we call the flower of life today, which is the image, which is created through the energy and vibration. So, for example, in this life, there is this this energetic system, that at this current moment isn't particularly for our best benefit. A lot of us say it's been hijacked, and I believe so too. But yes, there's these sequences of energy information that's being portrayed at a fourth dimensional level, because look, the fourth dimension in a sense trickles down to the third dimension, if that makes sense. But it's complicated though. Honestly, it's complicated. I like, that's not even all of the story, you get it? But like, this is why your thoughts are powerful, because thought is energy, and energy can create vibration. So at a bigger realm, with the trees, there is information, which is the DNA of the tree, which is telling it to grow this way. There is information within me, from my DNA to my natal chart, and the energies expressing through me, that are telling me to be, to be this way, I guess, if that makes sense, and yeah, so on and so forth. With that being said, I recommend, if you wish to get a deeper understanding of you, your energy, and the vibration and the frequency, 369, this is what it is. Because you got to keep in mind, energy, numbers are nothing more or less but just energy signatures, that we choose to express. What am I saying? That a number is just an energy signature. It's like a symbol, It's nothing more or less but a symbol. And if you want to get a grasp and a better understanding of what energies you're portraying, you're vibrating at, your frequency, and etc., I really recommend you get a natal chart reading, and I do astrology charts, natal chart readings. And this is why I am where I am, because I understand my energy, and because I understand my energy, aka my natal chart, then I can vibrate and I can express this frequency to the point where, look, but you gotta understand, 3, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, yada yada yada. So it repeats itself, so if you go through this process, if you understand your energy, you start vibrating, and then you emit this frequency, then you can go back, then you move on to 12, which is 1 plus 2 equals 3. Then here is where you in a sense can transcend your natal chart and in a sense start creating your own energy, but you can't do this if you haven't done this, if you haven't understood your energy, vibrated and emitted a frequency. But yes, definitely, if you want to understand your natal chart, so then you have a better way of vibrating with your energy, so you can portray the ideal frequency, then you can definitely hit me up, like leave a comment on the section below, and I leave the links on the description below as well, as to where to go get a reading and everything. But yeah, I really feel like that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please do like, share, and subscribe. And this is me solely signing out, and as I always say, namaste, and you have a blessed day.